said that because like I've always been told either that people always thought I did too many drugs,
Or
or that I am always on them, or I remember like I had a teacher that
hot.
yeah, I had a teacher that and she was, and it was a class I thought was okay with, and I thought she liked me and thought okay of me because I was always a good boy. I don't know, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was a troubledy kid, like ended up silly, stupid kind of trouble, not like I did something wrong kind of trouble.
You fell out of a tree.
And then I would do things that would get me in trouble, but I did them out of innocence, and it was a bad thing because it was apparently not as good as I thought it was, but I didn't realize until I got in trouble for it.
But they weren't going to punish you.
No, I did punish them because everybody assumed that I was doing the bad thing on purpose because I'm a bad kid, but I wasn't. I was just
Naive.
yeah, I just didn't believe in that, I guess. A quick example. My mother said, "Oh, Jason, I left my perfume in the car. Will you go get it from me?" Okay, easy enough. I go out. I'm a little kid, and I take it. It's a pump thing. So as I get out of the car, I guess at some point I went like this, and it sprayed, but it hit the car. The paint on the car.
Okay.
So I look at it, and it's like shiny.
Yeah.
Because it's
Wet.
because it's wet now. But when I wasn't thinking that then. When I was thinking, it was like, oh, the car's shiny. Look, oh, get the whole place. I said, I can clean the car,
That's so sweet.
and it'll smell nice, and she'll be so happy. And I walk, so I spray the whole car, and I'm out there like 10 minutes or however 15, whatever it is. I walk in the house, and she's like, "You okay? What took so long?" And I was like, "Oh, I was wash your car," and I handed her the bottle. She's like, "Where's all the perfume?" And I told her, and then I got in a lot of trouble. Because I'm like...
That's such a sweet story. I think she should feel flattered.
I think she was flattered, but also...
And her car smelled like a horror mobile.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't think of that for it.
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were going to take the paint off the car. If the car paint job had gone to hell, then you would have...
Then I would have been in real trouble. Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Oh.
I was in a Bart Simpson trouble. Like, Jason. There's oh, where'd it go?
Ooh, it's gone. Yeah, you got to be here or we quit.
Why did we end up telling that? Why did I tell that story?
He's stoned.
He's stoned.
He's stoned. When you get lost in the kitchen, that's when you know you're stoned.
Oh, I remember I was alone in the area. Lost in the kitchen you've never been in.
Well, man, it seems like you said that 5 minutes ago,
But I didn't. And
but I just said it now.
Did you ever see The Shining? Oh, you're not a horror film guy.
I live in The Shining.
I know that. I just wasn't sure if you were aware of that.
Here's Bobby.
It's totally not a Shining, and I thought of that earlier because it was a noise thing. I was like, oh, there's a ghost. Like, there's nobody been here.
When it's the dead of winter and the driveway hasn't been plowed for 2 days, it feels like The Shining.
It makes you like, but what
the
I mean
dog's
is
looking mighty good.
you don't have like a couple hundred years of history and people getting murdered here and all this crazy stuff. This place was built by one guy and his.
There's no ghost that I've found.
That's what I'm saying.
There's the creature from the koi pond.
For example, well, I mean, there's like that, or there would be
stays in the koi pond.
things that have died here through natural history.
Yeah.
As opposed to
we found a dead dog buried out there.
For example. But like,
no, it doesn't seem to me. I mean, there was the rock guy that lived here died of a drug overdose, but he was in London when he did it, so that isn't a count.
He lived here, but he died there.
Yeah.
And he's a rock guide?
Guy. A rock
star.
Oh, rock star. Okay.
Rock star.
Tim Harden.
Okay.
I mean, nothing to me.
Yeah, so it doesn't have anything to do with here. Like your...
Right, it's not, the place is not cursed, but... Like, the place is cursed, it's something I've done, I'm sure.
Rockstar died from drugs? How cliche.
Someone I've molested here, or...
I always said...
That's recorded.
I always said you could bury someone
he was
here.
25 when he showed up. So.
And
Oh, okay.
He was jail-bait.
Even its announcement of the... No, yeah, but it's funny you just said that. That's what I was thinking earlier, too. I said it's very The Shining.
Yeah.
It could feel like it, and then and if you ever feel like that, and being in the house by yourself at those times, like when you're in the winter and you're stuck here. In those moments, you're like, oh my god, but then you realize, oh wait a minute, okay, there's no evil history, so at least I can not worry about ghosts.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But you can create your own ghosts. But
yeah. But that's what I mean. You have your out.
When I was trying to write plays, which means I would stare at the typewriter or stare at the screen all day.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I would despair. I would write, "All work in no way makes Jack a dull boy."
No. Out of despair? Isn't that torture?
What?
To sit there and not be able to come up with anything to.
But you know, it didn't last long because I always discovered the best thing to do is just walk away.
And then come back?
I had a guest, a bed and breakfast guest once, a guy who went around the country giving lectures about writer's block.
Really?
And he was a writer, working writer, and he had come up with this program about writer's block, and that's basically that was his business. So he gave me his tapes.
Nice.
Really?
He gave me his cassettes.
Oh, that's
so
great.
And so one of the things I learned, lesson number 12, was don't stand there and beat your head in. So I'm fine. I'm not writing under the gun. No one's expecting a script, and so I just go out and do something else, and then suddenly when it's ready, it's ready. Boom.
An idea has to. You have.
It come to you, but that's the part. That's the hardest thing about it, and that's why
getting started.
If you get started is the hard, because it's always like, no, that doesn't work. But if you were like just mumbling through the beginning, and you start telling a story, and it starts flowing out of you, then you can't. It's that first start that really gets you. And the other thing to do besides walk away, which is great, is to start messy and not care. Just start typing in order that's like blah, 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 blah.
Reassociation.
To try to jump start it?
Eventually it'll start flowing. But
jump start it? I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, you have to get there,
I sent a script to the theater in Tivoli. They have a play reading series. Tivoli is up below, it's below Hudson.
Okay. I don't know where I am now.
Okay. Well,
but anyway.
It's a river town. It's a very hip little river town on the other side, the rich side of the river, we call it. And they have a play reading series in November, and they're affiliated with an Irish theater company that they trade things with. So I found them. You can email the script in by the deadline date, which I did. And that could be very. It was a major. Brave. I found that a brave thing. We'll see.
When was this? Or
I emailed it 2 weeks ago. I'm sure that there's going to be another 2 months before they announce it.
Exciting.
But I would have to schlep it to Tivoli. Not bad.
You only have to do it for how many weeks?
Well, I'm just the writer, so I guess I could just show up for a rehearsal.
You'll want to be there a little more, but yeah.
They offered me housing. Or they offered whoever wins housing.
Hello.
Hello.
You need an assistant you don't need?
There's more than one winner. Fortunately. But it'd be nice to just walk in. This only happened to me once in my life when they did a 10-minute play of mine in Kentucky. And, you just walk in, watch the rehearsal. You don't really have any power.
Yeah,
you might say, "Gee, that was nice." They were going to open it.
Gee, that was nice.
They were going to open in 4 hours, so there wasn't a lot of.
You didn't even get to see it.
There wasn't a lot of complaining that you could do.
Yeah.
And then you see the show and you hear the applause and it's over, and then you go back to New York. But it was worth it. I was the oldest playwright in the show, but it was really quite a different experience to be so powerless at that point.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
powerless.
If you get it this time, maybe you get yourself in there more often, so you see more of the process and potentially have some influence without, but just kind of quietly let them get okay with you being there.
I think I'm old enough to do that now.
Yeah, because
without being perceived.
Right. Oh, what a pain in the ass! He's always coming up with new ideas.
Yeah.
If you're just like, I just want to watch, and like Station only.
I'm gonna go refill this tuna. Is the low light level still okay?
Actually, it looks pretty good on the monitor, so
Okay.
I think it'll come out all right. I'm getting some light off the clouds, I guess.
It's my aura reflecting back up.
Yes, it's your wonderful aura. Look at it. Oh, it's so shiny. Ooh.
You see the halo, or is it too bright for the lens?
Yeah, man. You're so fucking, you know.
Well, I'm so what?
You're so new age.
What is that? What's the
You're
language?
like Mr. Spiritual, man. Look at you. Like you got like the whole aura thing going, man.
Can't. I'm hard trying to look at myself. It's hard.
It's like, you know, you're just like you're the dude. You're the guru.
Dude, you know, I had somebody tell me that once.
You're like the yoga.
I hadn't even seen the movie yet. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. And there was this girl that I was, my girlfriend. Who was awesome.
You were hitting. You're hitting it.
I won't say that because I do not
He was hitting it.
hit and tell. Or
Hitting it.
anyway, no, she was my girlfriend at the time.
He hit it
and,
hard. He hit it hard.
So what was it? I had a girlfriend at the time. And at some point, she goes, "You know what you remind me of?" And she had this great big smile. And I was like,
Nicky.
and she's like, "You remind me of the dude. You're like the dude."
You're the
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You didn't see the Big Lebowski?"
You're like duty.
I don't know. So I finally, thanks. But when I finally saw it, I was like, wait a minute, I'm like him to her. She sees me as this guy who like can't keep a drink from pouring down his robe.
Now with your
He
new
walks out
hair
this-
and your long hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm decided to take that she means the positive spin, not the me pouring my drunken mixed drink, whatever it is, all over my robe in the middle of everywhere and slobbering on folks.
You know,
So, gonna go with the positive version.
there's a store in the West Village,
Yeah.
and it's like the dude, and it's all
I met the dude, by the way.
dude stuff, and the owner of the store walks around like the
You mean
dude
the dude?
with
It's like quotes and things.
he walks around in a robe and whatever the outfit was.
Oh, I think I do know that.
Yeah, it's in the West Village.
Forgot about that. You know, I met him. I just said I met the dude, but then I just realized I actually met both dudes. I met like the real one and the movie one. I worked with Jeff Bridges on a couple of things, and
Oh, you did?
And I met the dude at this thing with Dope. Went to California for a screenwriting thing, and he did a seminar or class or whatever, and I met him like, oh, thing with the dude, the real dude. At the time, it was more people knew him. You ever see The Big Lebowski?
Well, I've seen scenes, and I've heard a lot about it, but I've never seen the whole thing.
That happened to me for a while.
That happened to you?
I said that, I was like, all right, I wonder how he's going to interpret that. Which way? Is it yeah. The Big Lebowski happened to me. You know, a billionaire gave me his carpet. And that daughter had an issue.
Happens to everybody.
Yeah, no. Tara Reid. It's hot. It's a better tone. Anyway, no, what did happen to me? Oh. Yeah, no, that I had not seen it, but I've known a lot about it before I finally saw it. See? That's what happened to me.
And what does the Big Lebowski actually refer to? Or is that his name?
Yes.
That's him.
Yes and no.
He's the titular character.
There's Lebowski and there's another Lebowski, and
But
Big
he's the
Lebowski,
Big
but he's the
Lebowski.
dude. But AKA the Big Lebowski, because he's the dude.
That's actually pretty entertaining.
The other guy is actually Big Lebowski. The douchebag Big Lebowski. No, not Lebowski. Actually, the other guy,
What?
the rich guy. He's not Lebowski. He's just a big rich guy who wants him. He's pissed off at him, and they peed on his carpet. Julianne Moore is smoking.
I don't remember that movie.
It
Jerry
makes
does
more
that
sense.
all the time.
It's funny. I didn't know how much of the movie I knew.
I pee on the carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually pee. I pee around the main house here sometimes,
Well, that's
like
to
the
keep the
dogs
bear
do.
away, yeah.
Like to mark my territory, and
Beautiful though.
yeah, she's great.
Oh, she's in her element out here.
Yeah, she's a good baby. So's this one. Hey, how you doing, little Luke?
She's always a baby, but she's 10
He's
years old.
He's such a little boy.
She had knee surgery.
He's a little boy.
Yeah. But she's, I was noticing the other day, she runs like the wind again. She's totally got her joint put back together. I think it's lying.
You know, they keep all the wild animals away. If they didn't,
Except you.
this right, but
Glad it's not me saying all that.
especially me, they can't keep away. But if they didn't, this place would be infested.
Oh God, there'd be moose crawling.
Yeah, bears, moose.
That's interesting.
Rabbits,
Red, gray, silver fox.
But the chipmunks have no shame. Because with the doors open, the chipmunks are always in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And they, of course, they run into the furniture, and then we have to
Oh, it's raining.
dogs at bay while we herd them.